Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On 24th of April, Mars is entering Sidereal Pisces. This is very important. I always say this, I know, but I really consider this important. In this video, I will be telling you what will the invisible Mars do in Pisces, how will he influence the world, and also the 12 ascendants. So Mars is entering sidereal astronomical Pisces, and he will stay there until 1st of June. Another even more important event will take place, and this is the heliacal rise of Mars. It means his first appearance. He is invisible now. And on approximately around 2nd of May, Mars becomes visible in the first degrees of Pisces. The ancients considered the heliacal rises of the planets as more important than the transits because they have their very significant message. Because I explained in many previous videos that the particular phase of the planet, also the stars, but we're talking about the planets now, is changing the energy, the essence of the planet, the symbolism of the planet, if you want. So imagine on approximately around 2nd of May, when Mars, the planet, becomes visible for the first time, this is like symbolic birth, new birth, like he is coming for the first time, like he is just born. And with this, his new cycle of 15 to 17 months is starting. So therefore, the beginning of his cycle will describe the whole cycle, the whole future cycle of more than 1 year. Therefore, Mars is very important. What is like the energy of Mars in general? Mars, Mars, his Aries energy, soldier-like behavior. You know this. I don't need to repeat. Everyone knows. But when we look back, in the ancient Babylonian mythology, Mars is God Nergal. The ancients would really fear his energy. They would consider him quite difficult, even more challenging than Saturn. Now, Mars was for them the unpredictable. Of course, he's the red planet. He would be associated with plague, with diseases, with wars, with major destructions. So they would really observe the sky with naked eye, and also they would have some devices, but with naked eye, and they would see how his first appearance will look like, what will be the weather like, and everything would matter. Everything which would deviate from the normal expectations would be ominous and would describe his cycle. So Mars becomes visible in the first degrees of Pisces. Pisces is very significant sign for us, and it always affects the global, the collective, because we still live in the era of Pisces. From the appearance of Jesus Christ until now, we are still in the era of Pisces. Yes, we experience the energy of Aquarius, certainly, because we are at the doorsteps of Aquarius, so to say, only 300 something years to go until astronomically we enter Aquarius, the Aquarius era, but we are still collectively, we still live in the sub-era of Pisces. Therefore, everything which happens in Pisces would really influence the whole world. Also, not without importance are the eclipses. This year, all this, and also next year, but this year, because of the presence of the lunar nodes, the head of the dragon, Rahu, the tail of the dragon, Ketu. So they are retrogradely passing through Pisces and Virgo. They always form the opposition. So, in addition, their presence in Pisces and Virgo is only enhancing the energy of Mars, making it even more, interesting, so to say. So, we know the lunar nodes are in Pisces and Virgo, and this only means that they are bringing with themselves the eclipses, and these two major important astrological signs, Pisces and Virgo, become portals for change for the world. And because these places, the two places, will be enhanced by the eclipses and by the presence of the lunar nodes. And now also there, we have the first heliacal appearance of Mars. And like I told you, this is his new birth, his new cycle of 15 to 17 months ahead. So his energy will be felt so much and will be important for the whole world, again, because of the energy of Pisces. What is Pisces like? This is beautiful sign ruled by Jupiter, so Christian, so empathic, so much about the collective, so much about our secret place. This is our place where we like to be on our own, when we like to meditate or to visit the temple, or to it is all about our secret sacred places. And Pisces is, yes, very much about empathy. Pisces is the bad karma, because there you have the refugees, the sick, the poor, and these 2 years ahead, not only, but Pisces is being very much activated. So all these events, like which Pisces holds, like the difficult karma of humanity is activated. Now, don't be afraid, because I will tell you here very important thing. With knowledge, we can influence our horoscopes. When we are not awake, when we don't know, when we are very passive in this reality, we will not change anything. So now, in general, the aspects of the planets play out, manifest for the world in their difficult lower vibrations. For example, if the high vibration of Mars would be dignity, soldier-like, lofty, loyal attitude of a soldier, in the low vibration, Mars is destruction, uh, disease, criminal action, can also be alcoholism, can also be drugs and everything. All these are the low vibrations of Mars. And when the collective vibrates lower, certainly we will see the low vibrations of Mars taking place, happening, manifesting. If each one of us tries to to apply, to understand the high meaning of this presence of Mars into Pisces, then none of this will happen. The more people understand, the more people are awake, the more we will experience the high manifestation, the high vibration of such otherwise malefic planet as Mars. So this is very important to be understood. The same would be valid for Saturn. So you see, the planets have their very beautiful presentation and their very difficult presentation, manifestation. So it is really up to us what we are going to experience. So Mars in Pisces, like you see, Pisces is all about the bad karma, the difficult karma of each one of us, of humanity. So Mars is entering Pisces, on the 24th, and he appears heliacally only a couple of days after. And during his presence in Pisces, as I just mentioned to you, we already have Pisces, Virgo, like a portal open for changes. What are the changes like? The appearance of Mars. Imagine Mars is masculine, very masculine planet. This is, I started here and I didn't complete this sentence. He is the god Nergal, who is ruling the netherworld. Venus is the one who loves him. She is the one who can influence him, because at certain point they become husband and wife and they are lovers and they love each other. So Mars is this very masculine energy which the ancients considered very difficult. But he is God Nergal and he rules the netherworld. He is ruling Scorpio. He's the 8th house, the house of the sacred, deep knowledge. Um, he rules Aries, the youthful sign, very masculine, very soldier-like. And imagine this Mars is going to pass through Pisces, and he is becoming visible also there. So this masculine energy in Pisces. Now, first of all, if we consider talking about Mars as the ruler of Scorpio, then immediately in Pisces, he is in his own trine, so-called own triplicity. So such Mars is not really so malefic, but historically, he did not do very easy, he was not very easy in Pisces. And I researched this. And I will tell you the following. I made video on this, I'm sure, but it was like 3-4 months ago. Now, historically, around the Second World War, Mars formed a conjunction with the Sun. It was November, before May 1945. Mars formed conjunction with the Sun in Libra. After that, he appeared for the first time also in Pisces, also in the first week of May. And what happened in some parts of the world, not everywhere, the war was over. But not everywhere. But yes, some peace was reached. What is happening now? Also in November last year, Mars and the Sun made conjunction, but not in Libra. It was in Scorpio. In Libra, we can eventually imagine that Mars and the Sun will reach consensus, because Libra is all about balance, consensus, reaching agreement. And this is what we also had once he appeared in, I think it was 7th of May, if I'm not, maybe only the date I would be it was certainly the first week of May 1945. Shortly after that, we had peace agreements, but not everywhere. So now the situation is different. Mars and the Sun met in November, not in Libra, but in Scorpio. And Scorpio is certainly not associated with peace. So worldwide, I don't think that this Mars will bring peace. Because this conjunction, yes, change in the course of the war. Yes, this we saw already with Russia and Ukraine. But this is not going to be the course of Mars to bring peace. This may change the course of the war. Water may be involved, because you see Scorpio, you see Mars in Pisces, like water battles, or I don't know what water. Mars can also be associated, unfortunately, to natural disasters, water related to water flow things, or I don't know what. A lot of rain and waters in quantities that we wouldn't like. Also refugees, because the 12th house, like I told you, is about refugees. And Mars is, you see, will influence the whole world, again, because of the nature of Pisces. We live in the year of Pisces, I repeat, and Pisces influences each and every one of us on the planet. No one will be forgotten not to take place in this, theater. So will be somehow important for each one of us. Now, let's not forget Pisces is amazing for this. Uh, Pisces is related to the greatest empathy. Really, people will help each other. So this is the beautiful part of the heliacal rise of Mars in Pisces. So we will not have the typical martial energy of war, of soldier like energy. This will be, if we think of the scorpionic energy of Mars and his appearance in his own triplicity in Pisces, this may be related to disease. They might come up with another health scenario. It is very possible, which might be related to refugees and stuff. Also, again, let me remind to you what happened. Previous appearance of Mars, how many years ago? I think it was late winter of 2019 in Virgo. Boom, we had health issues. His next one, exactly before the war, Russia-Ukraine started, Mars appeared in Scorpio. And I was saying this at that time, that this will be war or warlike. I think I used the term warlike events or something like that. And now Mars appears in Pisces. It will be more global. It will be more about refugees. This will be giant. It will be more about water disasters. It will be more about disease. Absolutely don't be afraid. When you have faith, when you vibrate high, none of this will affect you. Absolutely not. And I will tell you what very much helped me and increased my faith enormously is the a beautiful translated in English movie. I think there are 8 series. You can watch it free online. It is about the Russian angel. Very beautiful. Vyacheslav. Russian angel Vyacheslav. This is a beautiful boy born in 1984. He died in 1993. And he was the most amazing prophet of our times. The way he predicted the events which are taking place now and in the future are it's so very interesting, but this is not even so important. The way he speaks about the Christ impulse, the energy of the Christianity. You don't need to be Christian to understand and to be interested in the Christ energy. By the way, even Jesus Christ is mentioned in the Quran, in the Holy Quran. So you don't need to be Christian to be to research and to accept and to understand this impulse, because it is very, very important for our era, also because of the era of Pisces. So this is about, we need faith now. And this is why watch this series, the Russian angel Vyacheslav. There are 8 series translated in English. Also, they of course exist in Russian, but they are translated in English. You will love them. It's really something amazing. Yeah, I mentioned this and I forgot what I was telling you. So we should not be afraid, but you see, this is very important. Only later on I will make video about the entrance of Uranus into Taurus. This is also going to add to the changes which are happening to the world. Really, we should feel personal responsibility to maintain very high vibrations, really not to fall in the trap of fears, anxieties, worries, because this is also going to affect the collective. So we have to be very brave. But 15 to 7 months from now, the energy of Mars will be felt. Saying this, of course, I will tell you how Mars will influence the 12 ascendants briefly, because I cannot be very detailed, because This is also very personal. It depends on your horoscope, how Mars is placed in your horoscope, whether you're born in the day, whether you're born at night, whether he's receiving aspects from benevolent planets, from Saturn, and so on. So there are too many details. Of course, I will give you my overview on how the 12 ascendants will be influenced by this first appearance of Mars, but also by his passage through Pisces. Of course, if you want to know personally how Mars will influence your horoscope, you can contact me for a personal analysis, and my details are under this video. So, as usual, we are starting with people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or if you are following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Pisces. So I'm always telling you the moon sign in case that you don't know your time of birth, you don't know your ascendant, your rising sign, and you only know your moon sign. So people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. Before starting with Aries, see, there is something I forgot to mention to you, which is quite important. This is the fact that when Mars becomes visible around 2nd of May, in the very same moment, Jupiter becomes invisible. This is not a coincidence. There are no coincidences on the sky. Because when Mars is becoming visible, he is forming the so-called mutual reception with Jupiter. Means very simple, the following. Mars is in the place of Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter is in the place of Mars in Aries. They replaced their houses. You see, so and they're not in unfriendly positions. Why I see this as interesting coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidences. You can imagine Mars is becoming visible. It is like to take over from Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest peacemaker. He's the lofty, the very beautiful guru, very philosophical. He always would bring peace. And you see, he is like I saying to Mars, I'm leaving, now you take over. So this is what I see symbolically from this exchange of energies. Jupiter disappears, and when he disappears, this is symbolic of death. When Jupiter disappears, he's taking with himself what he represents. And this would be really morals and also peace. And Mars is like left alone to say his word. And I told you what most probably he would mean. And let's also not forget he would be with Rahu. Even more powerful would his energy be. And with Neptune, like we should watch out eventually, not to be misled in a way by the first appearance of Mars. We should be very spiritual, meditate, and very intuitive to see what Mars has to say to us personally. So now to go back to come back to the 12 ascendants. For you, Mars is very, very important, people with ascendant Aries, because Mars rules your ascendant. And Jupiter, who is on your ascendant at the moment of the appearance of Mars, is disappearing. Mars appears on your 12th house. Importance on your spirituality. He's telling you should maybe do some empathic work, or help others, or have some mission, do good to others. Also be responsible for your own health, but the remedy here really is to help others. This is not doesn't mean only to help financially, but just to help people. There could be many ways of doing that. And Jupiter disappears. Venus is also on your ascendant at the moment of the heliacal rise of Mars. She will play her role of protection, certainly, but You will see when Jupiter disappears from your ascendant, he becomes invisible, and shortly after he enters Taurus, you may need to be a little bit more careful, with partner, a little bit more careful, taking better care about your health, and certainly do good to others. And now we look at people who have sidereal sun in Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology. This is Gemini. For you, Mars is on your 11th house. This would say, watch out a little bit how you make financial decisions. He may be a little bit deceiving. You may watch out also for relationship with people. Stay away from disagreements, conflicts. Be a little bit more attentive, careful with your children. And in general, watch out how you make at that time financial decisions. Try not to be very impulsive. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini. If you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Cancer. For you, because of the appearance of Mars on your 10th house, you may need to be careful at your working place, with superiors. Watch out a little bit. Be patient. It is this particular first 1-2 weeks from May. It's not very appropriate for, new projects, negotiations. Try to be very diplomatic, at work, with superiors. Wait a little bit. Maybe better would be for you to make your plans after 1st of June. Also be a little bit more careful. Yeah, kind with your partner, with partnerships in general. Now we look at people who have ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or for the modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. For you, Mars appears on your 9th house. He can make you very driven to spirituality, to knowledge, to study, to travel, but be a little bit careful when you make your choices. Make sure that they're not impulsive, that you make them very, in a very intuitive manner. Also, when you travel, you need to be very careful, especially the first 2 weeks of May. But in general, Mars is forming trine to your ascendant, so I don't see him as really harmful for you. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology. My microphone. Okay. This would be a Virgo. For you, the first appearance of Mars is taking place on your 8th house. Watch out a little bit for finances that you may generate via unexpected sources, money of your partner. When you make financial decisions, make sure that you're very careful, not fast, not impulsively making your decisions. Watch out a little bit for your health. Mars can give you very good drive to secret knowledge, to sacred knowledge, to magical knowledge, to mysticism. And this will be his very positive impact on you. Just watch out a little bit for what I just mentioned. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Libra. Now, for you, Mars appears right on your 7th house very clearly. You may need to make very balanced, very harmonious in your romantic life, agreements with people, business relationships, business associates. Especially in your romantic life, you may need to remain very balanced, very patient, loving with your partner. Especially the first week of May wouldn't be very appropriate for new negotiations, new agreements. Keep in mind this. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. For you, Mars appears right on your 6th house. this would say he may bring a little bit of disturbances in your routine environment. Make sure that you are very careful with people, not really very much trusting them, and be a little bit responsible for your health, certainly. Also, make sure that you're, diplomatic so that you don't really, uh, have some challenging disputes or disagreements with people, but mainly be responsible for your health. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Sagittarius. Mars is ruling you. He is in your fifth house appearing. This is actually fine. He can even bring you some impulse to do creative work, to follow creative studies, knowledge. He can bring you muse. All this is very interesting. Um, he's forming sort of mutual reception with Venus, so he can really bring you the muse, the impulse for some creativity. But watch out a little bit, be attentive and careful with children. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius. If you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Capricorn. Now for you, Mars appears for the first time on your fourth house. This, of course, can shift your focus, and you may become very focused to be at home, to operate and do your business from home, and so. But also, it would mean that you may need to be careful with partner, with parents, and also because of the very strategic position of the fourth house, especially if he's on the axis of your lower meridian, upper meridian, you also may need to be careful at work and avoid any risky situations. Like when you'll be traveling, make sure that you're very well prepared. When you'll be negotiating, try to do this after, the second week at least of May and so. Um, Yes, this is the thing. Also, just avoid risky situations, of any character, because I told you of the strategic position of Mars in your horoscope. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. For you, Mars is in position of your third house. He may give you a little bit of disharmony with brothers and sisters, with neighbors. Make sure that you remain very diplomatic, loving to your brothers and sisters. He can give you the impulse to study, to follow some knowledge. Make sure that you make your choices very carefully, intuitively, in a very balanced way, and be a little bit careful when you travel, because you may be very driven to travel, but make sure that you don't miss detail in the preparation of your travel and so. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you follow the modern tropical astrology, this would be a Pisces. Now for you, Mars is appearing on your second house. He may make you very driven to, to be very involved in the some financial projects, or he can bring you this impulse and ideas for making money and so. But make sure that you make everything in a very balanced way, so that you're not going to be misled. Also, because Mars is with Neptune and so. Also, your partner should be a little bit more responsible for his or her health. And also, when you communicate with family members, family roots, you may need to be a little bit more diplomatic. And now, people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, tropically, or uh, Pisces ascendant or moon in Pisces sidereal, or this would be Aries tropical. Sorry, I I was too fast. For you, Mars appears right on your ascendant. This can, yes, be very interesting drive to new projects, new plans, change of your routine, change of your even work and so. But Mars can also bring a little bit of disturbances, so you may need to be a little bit more balanced when you make any decisions. Also, career wise, um, relationship with partner. Make sure that you're diplomatic, careful. At work as well. When you drive, when you travel, you have to be a little bit more responsible, and also for your health. This is not to scare you, but Mars appears right on your ascendant. His first appearance, depending on how he's placed in your horoscope, may also be a little bit disharmonious. So you may need really already to meditate and see how you will reach balance so that Mars only brings you good, healthy energy and not disturbances. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 12 ascendants. This is about, the first heliacal appearance of Mars. I hope this was informative for you. Your comments are very welcome, and see you very soon. Bye bye.